Where's the music? Come on.
Welcome
to the joy of coding.
Hello, and welcome to episode 348 of the Joy of Coding. It's Mike Conley. I'm here to hack on some Firefox stuff with you live on various platforms, Twitch, YouTube, Diode.zone, and usually Airmozilla, but today we're having some troubles with Airmozilla. So I'm not live streaming to Airmozilla, but the archive will be posted whenever I'm done. Welcome. It's good to have you here. Let me start by sharing my screen. Here we go. Yeah, it's episode 348. No plan survives breakfast, and boy howdy was that true last week. Let me actually skip past all of this because normally I talk about like the agenda, I talk about the episode guide, but I need to draw your attention to something. Take a look at what we normally have here in like my live coding. I've got like notes from 2021, and then suddenly there's like a skip from 2021 to 2023. There's like a bunch of missing episodes. Guess what, everybody? My laptop had a drive failure last week. Like, I had a great, productive Monday, and then, is my balance all off? Is the balance of the microphone completely off? Oh, yes, I see that, Hey everyone, I'm relearning. This is my new OBS. Hold up, let me adjust. Stand by. So here's the dealio. I had a drive failure. This is a new computer. I'm doing a lot of this. I had to rebuild a lot of what I currently have. I need to find the mixer. Where's the mixer? Come on. Where's the mixer? Here it is. So microphone, this is a mono. Here, is this better? There, that should hopefully have fixed it. So now that there should hopefully be, there we go. Yeah, I'm seeing some confirmation. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is my first stream. The fact that it's actually working right out of the box, I'm pretty happy about, because I didn't do any testing really beyond just setting up the scenes and whatnot. It didn't occur to me that the microphone was sending a stereo signal in only one channel. Anyways, yeah, laptop drive failure. I lost a lot of stuff. So this is a TLDR for everybody. Back your stuff up, and that's not enough. Once you're done backing it up, or you've got your backup process going, make sure you can restore properly, because that was my mistake. I had been doing backups. I have this piece of software that I guess Mozilla has a corporate license to called CrashPlan that does like background background backing up. And I hadn't noticed that it hadn't been running since 2021. That was one thing. And it wasn't backing up every folder that I needed it to. So I don't know when that changed, because it used to just back up everything. But I think some updates applied, I don't know. It just stopped backing up certain folders, and it stopped working in 2021. So I only have up until 2021 a bunch of my stuff, which is awful. And that also, like, some of the stuff that wasn't backed up included like all of my OBS stuff, so I had to rebuild it from scratch. And something else that I didn't back up was the scripts that I use for synchronizing the agenda. So if you actually try and look at the agenda right now, you're not going to see any, like, this can synchronize. It's not going to update like it normally does, because the scripts that I normally do to do that, I hadn't been backing up anywhere. Or I thought I had been backing them up, but they weren't being backed up. Okris asks if I trust the cloud. Well, apparently CrashPlan is, reasonably, like, it's an enterprise backup solution. And I believe considering what it needed to go through in order to get my data back, there's a very high security bar for retrieving that stuff. And I believe it is end-to-end encrypted. Like, I needed to fish out a decryption key from, the wall safe, that sort of thing. Anyway, long story short, I'm going to need to rebuild the scripts at some point. I'm not going to do that here, but just as an explanation, if you're wondering, like, where's my agenda? Why isn't the agenda updating? That's why. That's what's going on. So what are we? That's the bad news. I've got good news, though. I've got some great news, everybody. Good news, everybody. Oh, I also lost Wacky Morning DJ. I lost all my sounds. That's a real bummer. So I'm gonna have to like create or recollect all of the sounds that Wacky Morning DJ had. Real bummer. I still have all the intro and outro music for the stream, but none of the yeah or oh yeah or the air horn, which I normally like to use. But maybe this is a good opportunity to just like start from scratch and like start fresh, but also back your stuff up and do it in the cloud or do it with like a local like SSD, like a large drive or something. It's a good idea, and test your restoration periodically. Make sure that you can restore. A backup is useless if you can't restore from it. Okay, so there was a question that came in the week before last, because there was no stream last week. The question that I'm going to try and answer before we go into some work is, curious as to why it is, quote, okay to work on a bug that took over a year because of the 1 to 1.5 hour time box sessions. If this bug didn't need to be resolved in a more timely fashion, then why choose to work on it at all compared to other potentially more urgent bugs? And the answer for that is, I mean, sometime in times past, you know, I've been doing this since what, like 2015. Sometimes I'll be working on emergency stuff. Sometimes I'll be working on high priority stuff. But in this particular case, for the past year and a half, I wanted to work on something where you were able to see from end to end the development. And so I made this sort of promise to myself and all of you effectively that like I wouldn't work on it outside of the stream. You know, maybe I'd think about it, but I wouldn't write any code or anything. And so, you know, that has its trade-offs. It means that what I was working on is low priority, but you know, it is still fairly important in that it, in theory, should reduce some of the hangs that people might have due to the main thread I/O on Windows for the old jump list mechanism, because that's what we were working on. Just for the folks who don't know what this is referring to, well, you probably haven't been watching the stream for a year and a half. We were working on a new backend to the Windows jump list mechanism. If you're not familiar with the jump list mechanism, that's this thing. This jump list down here, this is called a jump list, and it is a you know, this is something that exists outside of Firefox. It's something that Firefox provides to Windows, and then Windows holds on to it. And the way we've been doing it up until now is using some Win32 APIs that we thought were lightweight, but it turns out that in certain situations they will block the thread that you're on, and that thread, whenever we're doing these things, happens to be the main thread. So some users, depending on what their disk is doing at the time, you know, will do these updates to the jump list every couple of minutes. If your disk is really busy, suddenly Firefox might lock up because it's blocked, waiting for your disk to become free while it does this right, which is not good. So we built a new backend, and guess what? Good news, everyone. That thing landed. The new jump list backend has landed. If you are on Windows, then you can turn it on, and I'll show you how to do that. If you go to About Config, and you have an up-to-date copy of Firefox Nightly, you can turn browser taskbar lists legacy backend, flip that from true to false. That's going to enable the new backend. And then if you restart the browser, oh, I see the confetti showing up. That's great. If we restart the browser, then we should have the new backend running. Now, behaviorally speaking, there should be no difference. It should be the exact same thing. Like the exact same behavior. I'm actually curious to know if this is going to fix, because like this list of frequent sites has been the same for me for years, I think, because it's stuck. I don't remember why it's stuck, but I suspect that whenever the new jump list mechanism updates it, I think this should finally start working again. I'm hoping so, anyways. Now it does it fairly lazily. I'm curious to know when that'll do it. Let's keep an eye on it and see if this actually updates. I will be very curious. Is it reproducible? The question is it reproducible? The bug in this menu? I have not found steps to reproduce. My understanding is that is a there's something on the Win32 side of things that this particular user profile on Windows is having a particular problem considering, what we've sent it in the past. Maybe we sent it some wrong stuff. I don't know. But let's wait and see if that'll update in the background. But what I did want to do today, the bug. The question is, the bug where it's blocking the main thread, is it reproducible? I mean, yes-ish. So the way that the Windows jump list stuff works is, Windows jump list. We wait until the user is idle for some amount of time, usually about 5 minutes, and then we will do the work. So you have to kind of like be in a certain situation. You have to let your machine sit there. You have to have a busy spinning Rust disk, like an HDD, like an old school disk that's not very fast and that's maybe encumbered with work. And then you should feel main thread IO. But it's not easy to reproduce it. It's not easy to reproduce it manually through some series of steps. We've seen it in user profiles, and we've seen it from our hang reports. Eric03 says, "Hey Mike, I'm an incoming intern at Mozilla starting in May 2024. Hey, congratulations!" I'm going to assume that's Eric03. Congratulations, Eric, on becoming an intern and starting in May of 2024. That's very exciting. I'm curious. Let us know what team you're going to be working on. Maybe we'll be working together. I'm very excited. Welcome aboard in advance. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to file a bug to enable the new jump list backend on by default in Nightly. Hold it to Nightly, but turn it on by default for people on Windows on Nightly. So that's the first thing I want to do today. And I'm going to file a new bug. That depends on this bug. Enable the new Windows jump list backend by default held to Nightly. I'm going to say I've been testing this manually for a few days and it seems to do the trick, so I'd like to enable it more widely for our Nightly audience. All right. So task and submit, and then I'm gonna write a patch. Eric says they're gonna be on the desktop integrations team. Amir is my manager. I know Amir. Well, congratulations. It's a great team. I think you're gonna get a lot out of it. They do great work over there. I know the current interns for desktop integrations have had a great year, and they did a lot of great work. So what I just described, enabling by default, but just for Nightly, is something we can actually do. We don't even have to be on Windows to write this patch. This is a pref flip that I think we can write fairly easily on Mac OS. I am curious to know what's going to happen in automated testing. So maybe that's something we should do on Windows, actually. So let's bring up my Windows machine here. Okay, so we can update this. We can finally pull from Central. Eric asks which team I'm on. I'm on the front end team. I report up through what's called the front end team, and so that's like a lot of generalists focused primarily on like the browser UI, but I do a lot of work with performance. I consult for performance and architecture, but if it's user facing in Firefox desktop, in the toolbars, the menus, or even in the content area, if it's from the browser, that's our domain. Godwo asks, how large is the Nightly user count, especially those who keep it up to date? I don't actually have those figures off the top of my head. It's quite a few. I mean, certainly there are more people using beta and release, like by several orders of magnitude, but we have enough people on Nightly that, and especially people who like to file bugs, they tend to be using Nightly, that we are able to get pretty decent coverage. We get a lot of good bugs filed. And I'd say the majority of the Firefox developers are using Nightly. And who keeps it up to date? Oh, that's a very good question. I think it's fairly good at, whenever you have a browser update, there's like a little icon in the corner of your menu. And I think people tend to keep it up to date. I don't actually have the figures off the top of my head. Okay, so here, I'm going to start by building. We can actually use an artifact build now, which is good. We don't have to do long duration binary builds because all the binary code is now in Mozilla Central. And what I'm doing right now is not going to be a binary change. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to firefox.js. This is where the default prefs are set. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find an example of where we've done like nightly only prefs. Nightly, if def nightly build. Yeah, this is a perfect example. Back end. And what I want to do is I want to say, okay, if you are using nightly, then we're going to turn the legacy backend off. Otherwise, it's true. Enable will only enable the new off main thread jump list backend on nightly for now while we test it. Okay, so this requires a clobber. Okay. Clobber build. So while we're waiting for that, because this might take a minute or two, certainly not as long as a binary build, but while we're waiting for that, I can update this to refer to the bug that we just filed. There's some follow-up bugs I think we should file as well that kind of came out from the reviews. So let's look at filing those. So RK Racing had review comments about how arguments are being populated by the jump list code. And this is something that pre-existed the patches that I was writing. And so he suggested that I file a follow-up bug. I'm pretty sure RK Racing's comment was in here. Yeah. No, it's not. Where was it? Was it here? Yeah, here it is. So, do we ever assemble this argument string from parts? Do we just receive it from the OS and treat it as opaque nonsense? In the former case, arguments in the WebIDL should probably be a DOM string, and we should run it through make command line. And this might cause problems if the URL isn't escaped properly. Consider this. This should almost certainly be OSINT URL rather than just URL. The first part is enough of a point for me to track the relevant bit down. What I'm looking for was this. Well, jump list item is gone now, so we can refer to legacy jump list item. What was the line? 314. Serialize the array of strings into a string, which has a potential bug because it performs no escaping of arguments to counter the OS's argument parsing. Even if the above is the current code base, though, is a separate issue and does need to block this. Okay. So I think what we need to do is file a new bug in shell integration. We are going to ccrk rasig, make Windows jump lists more resilient. Make Windows jump lists backend be more careful with URL strings. CRK Ray Sigs comment here. Copy. A link, yeah, okay. Effectively, we've been configuring the Windows jump list list of pages to what is he saying? We were looking for this. The part serializes the array of strings into a string, which has a potential because it performs no escaping. Given the above is the current code base. So okay. We've been configuring the Windows jump list of pages to assemble the arguments for the jump list item by naively joining a bunch of strings without taking escaping into account. What did he link to as lines 315 to 324? This stuff basically. And we should give it a permalink. We should take the opportunity while we're looking in this area to use, what did he suggest? Part of counter the OS's document parsing OSINT. OSINT. What is OSINT? I think here, command line parameters on Windows. OSINT serves two purposes. Most importantly, it signals that the command line is untrusted and must be sanitized. A very specific structure, usually OSINT URL or OSINT private window URL. These commands are produced by apps delegating to Firefox, and the resulting URL may not be correctly quoted. Okay. Yeah, okay. To use OSINT for the URL arguments here. And we should also update Windows jump list shortcut description to use, was it DOM string for arguments rather than, what was I using? And run it through make command line. And that's referring to this. Rather than what we're currently doing. And Windows jump list shortcut description currently, what is the arguments? It's just an individual DOM string rather than what we're doing with a single string. Okay, so task submit. So that's one. Done. And file being better about icons. So that's something that Molly had brought up. And I suspect it's in here. Here. Check for removals. It's not in scope. Get rid of the old icons. Is there a way to be a little smart about this? Presumably most of the icons won't actually change most of the time that this code runs. Yeah. Async delete all fab icons from disk. So new New bug. Where are we? Widget windows. I guess this is Windows. Widget. Win32. This is like C also. Make Windows jump lists. Make jump list. Maybe this should be shell integration actually. Shell integration. Because this was shell integration. Make jump list builder smarter about clearing old fav icons from the disk. Molly pointed this out and then we'll link to in this review. Basically, every time we repopulate the jump list, we run an async job to clear the fav icons from the disk before potentially repopulating them. This could probably be smarter because these icons are not super likely to change over time, especially for users that have fairly predictable browsing habits, fairly repetitive, I should say, repetitive, where the frequent list of sites does not change. And so C also that CC Molly task. Eric asks, how often do people go into the Toronto office? Oh, I think there's always someone there. I think there's people there. I think it's been getting more and more busy as, you know, obviously during the lockdowns it was vacant, and then we reopened them last year sometime, or maybe a little bit before that, and it's been slowly getting more and more populated, and people are coming in more frequently. So yeah, how often do people go into the Toronto office? I'd say that there's at least people in there. I think there are people in there every day of the week, Monday through Friday at least. Okay, so that was the other thing I wanted to do there, is to get that on file. Let's see if our build here is done. This didn't get fixed, eh? Even our new backend doesn't fix this. That's kind of a bummer. Does it say anything about it in our... If I like load Windows jump list, Windows jump lists.sys.mjs. Let's import it. Okay, hold on. Chrome utils, import ES module. And the thing we actually want to import from this module is what? Export Win taskbar jump list. Yeah, Win taskbar jump list. Did I spell that right? Win taskbar jump list. Yeah. Taskbar jump list dot update. So that runs. This does nothing. I'm fairly certain that there's a Win32 bug here. I will say, based on my understanding and my impressions of the designs of the jump lists and the APIs and whatnot, that they're not really at Microsoft's forefront of their minds. I don't think they're really super thinking about it. But now that we have our build here, let's run mock build faster one more time, make sure that we got our pref flip here, and then we'll run the tests to make sure that we haven't broken the legacy widget tests. Where are the jump list tests? There'll be something like legacy jump list under test. What test unit? That's where I want to test. Okay. Tests unit. What are the other unit tests under there? Yeah, not too many tests. Just the one. There are 2 other tests in there, but I think they're just for Mac OS. Mac. So this will test the old mechanism. Might take a second. While we're waiting for that, what's the other stuff I wanted to do? So, Sumo. Guess what? There's this very handy Sumo page. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. Let me show you. Maybe you've heard me talking about it. I think we've hacked on it before during this stream. The Sumo page makes it easy for people to migrate data from old devices to new devices. So we ask the user to like, hey, here's some instructions. You can move your stuff. Enter, like, sign up for an account if you don't have one, sync your data, and then download Firefox on your new device. That's the idea. And we have these like very cute, adorable fox doodles. You can see the other fox doodles. Like here's the next one, and then the last one is like the fox jumping out of the box. We've got these fun doodles here because our measurements showed that people actually really like those. They think they're adorable, and it caused more people to actually do this, to go through the flow. I guess maybe they just wanted to see what would happen with the doodles. Anyways, we have this variation with the doodles on, the illustrations on, with them off. And now that we've shipped them on by default, we're safe to remove the off variant, and there's a ticket to do that. And I thought I'd try and pick that up today. But because I have a new machine, I've had to like reset up the Sumo stuff, which is not super easy. Like I've got to like, got to run this Docker. I had to download Docker, get all this stuff. Oh, poor me. I had to get all this Docker stuff. But now I finally have it running. I believe. Yeah, here it is. But in order to do any of this work, I have to like, I have to create some things. I think I have to create, I kind of forgot how all this works. I need to like go to the admin page. I need to create a topic. And the topic has to have a particular name, like a particular slug. I'm trying to remember how all this works. The other thing I need to do, I need a new window. I'm using Code now. Normally I was using Sublime, but I decided I'd take the opportunity of getting a new computer to try Code out for reals this time. Okay, so we're gonna. Yes, I trust the authors of this folder. What do I want here? I'm gonna look. Is there a way I can grep within a? How do I grep within grep? Clone search. Find in files. Okay, I want to find the term switching devices. Yeah, so the back up your data, switching devices topic. Oh, that's what we need. We need this topic. This needs to be the. I think that's what we need. Switching devices topic, back up your data. So I need to add a topic, add topic, back up your data. And the product needs to be Firefox, and it is visible. And save. And I need display order number 1. What now? Field, description, back up your data. Save. Okay, so now we have a topic. I need to create a document in that topic. Hot topics. I'm going to create a new article. How do I do that? New article. Edit profile, contribute. Ugh, hang on. How does this work? Contributor tools. Account. I'm trying to remember how I've done this before in the past. Sample article. Can I edit the article? Edit article metadata, category, topics, back up your data, back up your data. I'm going to say switching devices because switching devices, that's the one I normally used. No translations. Save description. And then there's a very particular thing we need to put in to the body of the body of the document. It's this. So before, then that, and then after, and that I believe submit, and then review, approve, accept. So if I now go back to the, no? Did I do it wrong? Oh, I need to put another one of those. Fix the thing. Review it, approve it, yada yada yada. Okay, back to the, yay, all right, I've got the thing. Now, notice there is no there's no Fox there, and it's telling me that it can't work right now, and that's because localhost isn't allowed to use some of sort of the privileges that we give this the wizard. But I can grant those privileges for my test page here, or my test profile. And the way I do that is I go to about config, I turn off trusted, was it UI tour, require secure false, and then there is a UI tour child. I need to give testing origins. I need to add a testing origin, and the testing origin, oh, it's not a boolean, it's a string, and it is http://localhost lolcat host localhost 8000, which I believe will make it so that I can use it. Yes, okay, so that stays there now. And if you want a version of VS Code without any of the Microsoft stuff packaged in, you could try VS Codium. That's interesting. I didn't know that was an offer, or that was available. I might look into that. Okay, so let's get rid of the old variant. Well, the first thing I'm going to do actually is I'm going to use my git powers to create a branch, checkout b remove no doodle variant. We'll switch that branch, and then I guess we don't need this search anymore. I need that. What I need is the switching devices JavaScript, switching form wizard, doodles. These are the doodles. We need to get rid of the no doodle variant. So we can get rid of our measurement, show doodle. We don't need to use this anymore. Update if. Show doodle. Okay. So that might actually be it. Let's do a quick search. Show doodle. Okay. Now if I reload the page, there, we get it back. Yeah. And now let's run the tests because we have fairly comprehensive tests. npm run, what is it, webpack test? Is that what it is? Something like that. I think it's like that. Okay, doesn't like it should. Okay, so we have an old test here that we need to get rid of. Form wizard tests. Fox doodle should show doodle. That changes. Should not show doodle when the feature flag is not set. So we can get rid of that. We can get rid of the feature flag check. Stub. Feature flag. All right, we'll run our tests. Amazing. Okay, get add Kitsune Sumo. You know, I'm just gonna add both of these. Get commit am. There is a ticket for this. I need to remember what the github.com Mozilla Sumo issues. Yes, it me. Okay. It's 1504. Remove no doodle variant of the switching devices wizard. And I actually want to say that it fixes Mozilla Sumo 1504. And that should do it. Get I want to add my fork of Sumo. Where's my fork? It's called Kitsune. So it's interesting that the issue tracker is under Mozilla Sumo, but the actual code is under Mozilla Kitsune. I've always found that strange, but I think there's a good reason for it apparently. I already have a fork, do I not? Yeah, I do. So code local and add that. Get remote add me. Get push me. What was this thing called? Get push me remove no doodle variant. Okay. So now there should be a pull request here. And I'm going to request review from Hannah, who I've been working with on this stuff. And let's just take a quick peek at all this. Is there anything else doodle related? Show doodle. The word doodle has started to lose all meaning. Get grep doodle. Doodle sign in doodle. Yeah, all right. I'm into it. So create pull request. Amazing. And I believe I can update. I have to update a board somewhere. Review. I should say this is done. So there's sorry, you can't see what I'm doing right now, unfortunately, because I'm in our private Jira instance. Normally we do all our work in either GitHub or Bugzilla, but our Jira instances where we do a lot of project management, and so I'm having to update some things there. Just give me a quick second. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do here. Done. Where's our pull request? We can put that here. And then what was the other thing I wanted to do? Oh, we were running the test over here. Test like the I don't think these tests actually run. Maybe we've always had them disabled. In which case, yeah, I don't expect flipping the pref to change much. Looks like they've always been disabled. That happened 9 days ago. And why is that? Because it was failing for versions less than 10 for some reason, due to this bug, which I guess is an intermittent test failure. So maybe for now what we can do, well, I guess it doesn't matter. It does not matter. We have our change. Let's go ahead and commit it. Bug such and such, enable the new Windows jump list backend on nightly only. We'll ask Molly to review that. And what else did I want to do? There's one last thing I wanted to do, and then I might end the stream early because I've got something that's right at the half-hour mark. Normally when I end the stream around 2:30 Eastern time, but I've got something that's right at 2:30 and I'd like to prepare for it. So I might have to end the stream a little bit early this week. Okay, so that is done. There is a warning because we're touching Firefox.js, and that's not a valid JS file. That's fine. And we'll go ahead and submit. What? Reinstall MozFab. Do we not? I also recently updated the Mozilla build on this machine, so that's probably why it blew away all of my Python packages, I guess. Thankfully, I don't have to like re-authenticate or anything. I guess wherever it stores the API key persists outside of Mozilla build. That makes sense. Probably in my home directory somewhere. All right, patch posted. And hopefully Molly can review that soon. And the last thing I wanted to do, I'm just going to check the chat, see if there's any. It's really rubbing it in, back up your data. Oh, let me say, as someone who has recently gone through a device migration, in this case, a forced device migration, Firefox was like the least of my worries. Like Firefox and the account and sync and stuff, that was like one of the first things I got going on this new computer. I downloaded nightly. I signed into my account. All my stuff was there. It was great. It's fairly straightforward. It's everything else. It's everything around it. Like having to re-download OBS, get VS Code set up. Joplin, I had to get Joplin, and I was able to retrieve some of my old notes from 2021 and before. Getting Thunderbird to reconnect to my email, and then it has to download all the email and re-index it, and all of the stuff required to build Firefox and whatnot. That was the pain in the ass. The browser device migration, easy as pie. It's super easy if you have a Mozilla account. I was about to say Firefox account, but we just did a rebrand. If you've got a Mozilla account, moving from one device to another device, if you're syncing, is super, super easy, and that's how you should probably do it. And it's end-to-end encrypted. It's end-to-end encrypted. Just FYI. Okay, the last thing I wanted to do was, there's this need info. Oh, no, I wanted to do this. So, let me explain. Let me start by pumping up the font, actually. I just realized that font's quite small. We're going to go back to Mozilla Unified, which is my repository here. One of the things we're trying to do is, encourage people who don't have a Mozilla account, who have a lot of data stored on their machine, to consider creating one to start syncing in order to, keep their data safe in the event of like device failure. I just went through that, and if I hadn't been syncing, and if I lost all of my bookmarks, my logins, my history, all my configuration, like I would be very upset. And so we don't want people to get in that situation. We want to reduce that possibility. And so we want to encourage them. They might not even realize that is a thing that they can do, is that they can like have their stuff synced securely, end-to-end encrypted, and it's it's free. It doesn't cost anything. You just sign up, and then we start syncing. So we want to try and encourage people to do that. We're testing some messages that we are going to try and send out to some locales in December. And we just recently landed some strings for those messages, and we want to change one of those strings. So I was thinking we might do that. So I have to file a bug first. Messaging. The original messages landed in this patch, so I'm gonna to clone this bug, tweak strings for AS Router. There's been a last minute change to one of the strings that we landed in bug such and such, rather than what was the one string? It was like hoping for a new device this season. Hoping for a new device this season string. We're hoping to reuse an older string, and that string is new device in your future from here. I'm going to write a patch. This bug is for writing a patch that removes the hoping for a new device this season. Replaces the hoping for a new device this season string with the new device in your future string. I think I can do this without bumping the key because I don't believe any of these strings have been sent off for localization yet. But hopefully someone from the Fluent reviewers group can confirm. Okay. Oh yeah, Smurfd was pointing out that I can use Pandoc to convert my HTML agendas to Markdown. That'd be good to sort of like backfill all of the old agendas. Yeah, I might do that. I'll probably write a script that does that and then extracts, because like there's some parts of the HTML that I don't need, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of scripting. There's also maybe images that I'm gonna have to consider. It's gonna be a pain in the butt. I'll figure it out over the holidays. All right, so let's get this done real quick. This is from yesterday, so this should be fine to work with. Code. What were the strings? It was under this file. Season. So instead of this, we're going to put new device in your future. And then I need to create a new Fluent migration. Touch browser, no, Python L10N Fluent migrations bug, and then what is this new bug? New device migration strings. String replacement. That's what I'll call it. I'll add that file. And now let's open it. And I'm going to basically copy this old migration, but instead of doing what I did before, if you're curious what a migration is, a migration allows us to run scripts on, convert our locales, like run a script that does automated conversions of our localizations on a particular locale. So this will run, this script is going to run on every single non-English locale. And this makes it so that we don't, if we're just moving a string around, we don't have to make our localizers do it. We'll just run the script on every single locale and it'll just do it, which is really nice. Tweak strings, replace a string for device migration, AS router messages. Okay, and we're gonna say that we're replacing this one, new device header. We're gonna copy from fxasync CFR header. Right. And then we will make sure that, I think we can just do test fluent migration. Is that, that's the thing we, no, it's mock fluent migration test. Is that, yeah. And then we'll go Python, L10N, fluent migrations, and then it's bug 1867. That's not correct. Transforms from new device header, copy pattern from path sync CFR. What's going on there? Test. I think this migration is correct, but I think maybe I just need Flawed to look at it. Yeah. All right. Let's see what our reviewers think. New device in your future. Okay. Bug. This bug. Tweak. What was the original tweak? Strings. Fluent, what was it? Fluent reviewers. Just gonna review this. Okay. And submit. Okay, that's done. All right. Last thing I wanted to do was this performance analysis. So I got tagged on this bug because I'm fairly used to looking at profiles. This is apparently a regression to one of our performance tests landed due to an unrelated patch, or a patch that's kind of mysterious. And so the profile is turned on with PCN. PCN is the parent-controlled pref. So this is bad and then good. Web content starts later with PCN in cycle 1. Cycle 2 is pretty much similar with and without. Looking at subtests, it looks like tab paint from parent is culprit, but I don't know how it's measured. Okay, cycle 1. Let's take a look. So it should be bad then good. I'm trying to remember how tab paint from parent runs. Talos. Tab paint. Time it takes to paint the content of a newly opened tab when the tab is open from the parent. I see. Markers. The parent process. Oh wait. Not animated. Browse tabs opening. Not animated. Is there like user timing stuff in here? User timing. Talos. Here we go. Open tab from parent. Takes 97.3 milliseconds with no PCN. And 104 milliseconds with PCN. Okay, so let us now examine set selection here. Let's see if we can compare and contrast. So what are we doing that's different? Let's just look at JavaScript for a second. 9 samples receiving a message. Same here. 9 samples receiving a message. Nothing too different. And then a promise callback. Okay, 1 sample difference, not a huge one. Fresh driver tick. 3 samples. This has a wrapped. Okay, 4, 3 JS actors. That's different. Receive a message. JS actor receives a message. Okay, I'm not seeing too much different in the script, so let's look at everything. We're going to invert the call stack to flip everything upside down, see if we can see anything that jumps out as immediately different. Actually, I have a better idea. We have the ability to compare 2 profiles. I forgot that we have this. So, profile 1. What I like to do is put good first, so that'll be the second one, and then bad second, profile 2. Oh. Maybe I gotta do the full range, maybe? Or maybe I needed permalinks. Maybe that's what I want. I want a permalink. So let's make that be profile 2. And this will be profile 1. Okay, maybe it needs the full thing. What? Only public profiles. Public uploaded profiles. Are these not public? They must be, because I can see them. All right, let me try re-uploading. Oh, no, I didn't want to pocket that. Let's try re-uploading them. Re-upload. Re-upload. Profile 1. Profile 2. There we go. Jeez. All right. Apparent difference between 1 and 2. Made difference. It's not a whole lot of difference, eh? It's more like, oh, there's weighting there. I think I'm mostly curious in the difference between these. Tap paint go. DB transaction. That's interesting. That's interesting. PCN. No PCN. There's an IndexedDB transaction here. Okay. So 11 milliseconds different. Where is the difference? Tab select takes 10.8 milliseconds. 10.4 milliseconds is pretty good. The difference here is 18 milliseconds. That's about right. How about from here to here? 16 milliseconds. 18 milliseconds difference. So there's a little bit of a lag before we do this, but it's not huge. And then 12 milliseconds to do this, 8 milliseconds to do that. That's interesting. What's going on over here? We're running a GC. We don't GC. We're running a GC. That's one thing. So we seem to hit some kind of accumulation, clear out a buffer, recent allocations. We ran out of nursery. PCN. We never GC prior to this. So I wonder if that's related. That's only in total 3.7 milliseconds, but already that's a little bit of a smoking gun. All right, and over here, what else do we have? Cache, we write to the cache. Dispatch. See, this is different. With PCN, we do some things here where we like, there's a cache entry, available callback runnable on a cache entry. Maybe dismiss on for IME. And then a background IDB request. Destroy the subtree. Because there was an index DB request. Window destroy. Why is there a window destroy? Why are we destroying anything? That's interesting. Why are we destroying a global? And that we GC and we destroy a global. We destroy because we're destroying a subtree. Why? ORPC. Call for out of process object instantiation. A while to composite the page. I think that's the thing that jumps out at me. Cycle 2 is pretty similar with and without. Let's, I'm going to reorder this again. Oh, the reason I needed to upload, I forgot, it's within a compressed file from a try job. That's why I needed to redo it. Re-upload. 76.6 versus 71.8. So it's actually better enabled. And then from content, 69.3, 70. So it's actually better in the second cycle. If we look at these again. Chart 104 versus 97.3, 70, 70. It's quite similar. Okay. I think the only thing that jumps out at me from these profiles is the fact that we do a GC during the where is it? It's here. We do a GC during the with PCN case in cycle 1. During the opening from parent subtest. The way tab paint works is that it opens a tab in 2 ways. It opens a new tab by I think, if I remember correctly, tab paint. Talos tests. Just have to remember how tab paint works. Talos. Not a startup test. What kind of test is it? Tests. Tab paint. The way it works is it open tab from parent. By calling gbrowser add tab. New tab by calling gbrowser add tab in the parent process. And then 2, opening from content. It opens a new tab from content by sending a message to the content process to open a new tab via, what was it, open from content. Target, what is target? Via clicking on an anchor element with target equals blank. What is PCN anyways? PCN is parent controlled pref. Enable browse document channel. Improvements. Oh. Oh, wow. All right. Considering the improvements from PCN in such and such, and the fact that the regression seems to be an artifact from at least some GCing only during the first cycle and not for subsequent cycles, and the fact that the magnitude is quite low, I think we can close this as won't fix. All right. I think I'm going to end it there, everybody. Hey, thank you for watching episode 348 of The Joy of Coding. I don't know what I'm going to do with this agenda. I'm hoping I can turn it into the actual agenda. Like if you go to the Joy of Coding page right now and try and look at the agenda, there's like this message that's like, hey, guess what? I'll hopefully update this thing. So I'm probably going to like try and convert chunks of this into what goes in here manually, and then maybe the next time, maybe if I have time, I'll have a script to do the syncing next week, or if not, maybe that's what we'll work on next week. Who knows? We'll see. Hey, but thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought of the episode. If and when you do load this, I believe if you by the time you eventually read this, if you're watching the recording, there should be a link to rate the episode down here. In fact, I could drop that in right now, maybe. Can I? No? Okay, I don't have the editor, the page editor open, but I can put that in there. Let me know what you thought. Send me your ratings, and it's a great place to ask questions if you want me to try and field some questions about Firefox, the code base, C++, JavaScript, that sort of thing. Happy to try and answer them. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it there. And for the folks who are watching the stream right now and have it in the forefront of your mind, let me just drop that rate this episode form into the chat. Here's the rate this episode form. Booyah shaka. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully I will see you next week. And then I don't know how many episodes we've got left before the end of the year. We're only 2 episodes away from episode 350. I should probably do something fun. Hopefully not lose another laptop. But, it's possible we'll get episode 350 in before the end of the year. According to Air Mozilla, our schedule on Air Mozilla, episode 350... let's see when it's scheduled for. It's scheduled for December 13th, if all goes well. That's crazy. I did not think that we would get it done by December 13th. I don't think I'm actually going to be on holiday up until then, so we might. We'll see. But stay tuned. And thanks for watching, and hopefully I will see you next week. Take care, everybody. Let me just find a way of queuing up the music. Bye-bye.
The joy of coding.
See ya.